Can we do Kirtan for 2-3 minutes? Yeah. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Vijana Bhaya Giridhari Yashodanandana Jajana Dhanjana Yamuna Tiravamachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivarajacharya Ashtotara Sat Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantapoti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Welcome everyone. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripasindhabhyavacha Patitanam Pavnibhyo Vaishnavibhyo. So today we are starting with the new verses. Today I'm not going to do the recap, but I want you to do the recap for me, right? So everyone can contribute something they learned from yesterday, 1 or 2 points. Is that okay? Okay. So,
Yes, Mataji.
yes. So who wants to start? What did you learn? Or what did you remember? Yes, Shubham Prabhu.
Mataji, yesterday we discussed the 2 types of impersonalist. One was Brahmavadi and the other was Mayavadi, and what difference they have. The Brahmavadis that are attracted towards the Brahm Jyoti,
Right.
the effulgence of the Lord, they don't have any envy as such.
Right.
But the Mayavadis have envy towards Krishna, to the Lord, and so that's how they are categorized.
And in what context did we got into the discussion about this impersonalism?
The mantra 12.
Mantra 12, right. So what is Mantra 12 basically talking about?
It is talking about the result of, like, who is worshipping demigods, they go into the darker region,
Right.
and who are the worshippers of the impersonal absolute, they go the more darker region.
Right. But what is it called? Sambhuti and Asambhuti. You remember? The 2 words
Yes.
that are described in the verses. Sambhuti
Yes,
means worshipping the Supreme Lord, who is independent and who is Krishna, the supreme cause of all causes. But Asambhuti means those who are dependent on the Lord, but we worship them as a supreme. So the category is the demigods and also the people who are in the worship of the impersonalism. Right. Any other points? Thank you, Shubham Prabhu. Tanvi Mataji, you want to share something, some points that you learned?
Mataji, please accept the humble obeisance.
Please ask.
Yesterday we discussed about the seven themes of Isopanisad. The first one was knowledge, living. Second one was living entities, the absolute truth, materialism, defeating impersonalism, bhakti, and Ishavyasam. And the next we discussed about the impersonalism and why Srila Prabhupada chose West for this.
Oh, no. He didn't choose West, but he preached in the West, but he was very much against the Mayavadi impersonalism and the voidism, right? Yeah. So we discussed the seven themes
Yes.
of the Ishopanishad, and then we discussed. Okay. Any other points? Thank you, Tanvi Mataji. Vaibhavi Mataji, you want to share something?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I was not in the class.
You were in the class, no problem. Thank you. Jyoti Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Submit.
I like yesterday we also discussed how demigod worship puts us into mode of darkness,
Right.
and we are not able to know the real truth, and we are end up in the web of material desires because it starts getting fulfilled and we starts getting trapped in that.
Yeah, so the demigod worship is also not very much encouraged because it's like bribing, right? The officers. But we don't need to bribe, and moreover, when it's just increasing our material desires, and we are settling in the material world, and it's just a dark place to be here. And what else did we learn? Thank you, Jyoti Mataji. Karnamai Mataji, can you share something?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranam. Krishna Mataji, we also read that what is the importance of hearing from a bona fide spiritual master.
Right.
We, like we said, there are other spiritual other masters or gurus who told about demigod worshipping or impersonalism. There are so many people out there, but we have to learn from the undisturbed authority who is coming from a bona fide parampara.
Very nice. Thank you, Karnamai Mataji. Tulsi Mataji, you want to share something? Hare Krishna.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Sorry,
yes.
my network is not that much great. Okay, so I don't know, it's something that I want to tell that what we have learned about themes, okay, and about the mantras and why Prabhupada defends the impersonalism, like why he went to the Western countries, and that much I remember.
Thank you. And we also, does all the paths lead to the same destination? Yes, no? Does all spiritual paths lead to the same destination? Then what is an example Prabhupada quotes? You remember? Buying an airplane ticket to Mumbai, right? No, buying an airplane ticket to Kolkata, but someone wants to go to Mumbai. Is it possible? You buy a flight ticket to Kolkata, but you want to get down at Mumbai. Is it possible? No. So here we understand that, not all paths lead to the same destination. Different, the mode of worship and the whom you worship, that's where it decides the destination. You remember the verse from the Bhagavad Gita? What is the verse discussing about this? From the 9th chapter. 9th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Shubham Prabhu.
This is something like Yanti Deva, something
Yeah.
like.
Yes, 925. The worshippers of the demigods, they go to the demigod planets. The people who worship the Pitri Devatas, they will go to Pitri planets. And people who worship the ghosts and spirits, they go to their own planets. And if there's someone worships Krishna, they go to the spiritual abode. So all paths do not lead to the same goal, right? Yeah. And what else did we discuss? What is the real service to the humanity? Opening hospitals, opening schools. What is the real service?
Reaching Krishna consciousness.
Why?
Because that is the like end of everything. Like if whatever else we'll do, it is not purified. But if we add Krishna consciousness to everything, it becomes purified.
Mhm. But why is it called the real service to humanity?
Because it makes us it helps us to reach the final destination from where we have actually come to the material world. So uh, uh, no other path, it will only give us temporary satisfaction, but this satisfaction is permanent.
So it's teaching us, revive our true nature, right? And it will place us where we belong to. And yesterday also we have seen some videos, isn't it, at the end, seeing how much consumerism is imposed from a very young, like very at the beginning of our lives, practically speaking. So we are so much caught up into that, and then we forget the main goal of our life. We are so much busy in the materialism, and then we forget the goal of reviving our true nature. Now, what is the perfection of how do you say Sambhava? Just a second. Okay, what does hearing and chanting about Krishna helps us to do? What does the hearing and chanting helps us to do? Yes, Vaibhavi Mataji.
They both help us purify our senses so that
Yeah.
we can engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness and the services.
According to verse 30, if you see, there is a hierarchy of things that are going, like it's like a flow chart. You can say, you can give some points from that, chapter 13. Sorry, mantra 13. Hearing about Krishna draws us to his attention, and by that, he cleanses our heart from ignorance and passion. And then we are established on the platform of goodness, right? And then where we become qualified brahmanas. And then that leads us to a happy and enthusiastic to perform bhakti. And the God that will be freed from our material attachments, all our doubts are cleared, and then finally we become liberated soul and see Krishna in every sphere of life. I want to share one quote with what Prabhupada says about personalism and impersonalism. It's the same thing, but it's so very powerful quote that's in Prabhupada's purport itself. Okay, everyone can see my screen, right? Yeah. Bhagavad Gita 7.8 purport. What does Prabhupada write? As a demigod in the sun is a person and is perceived by all pervading energy, the sunshine, so the Lord, although in his eternal abode, is perceived by his all pervading diffusive energies. The taste of the water is an active principle of water. No one likes to drink seawater because the pure taste of water is mixed with salt. Attraction for water depends on the purity of the taste, and this pure taste is one of the energies of the Lord. The impersonalist perceives the presence of the Lord in the water by its taste, and the personalist also glorifies the Lord for kindly supplying the tasty water to quench man's thirst. This is the way of perceiving the Supreme. Practically speaking, there is no conflict between personalism and impersonalism. One who knows God knows the impersonal conception and personal conception are simultaneously present in everything, and there is no contradiction. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya establishes his sublime doctrine, Achincha Beda Abheda Tattva, simultaneously oneness and difference. So what is Prabhupada, emphasizing? We also acknowledge the impersonalism, right? How Krishna is pervading, we also acknowledge that part. But along with accepting the impersonal existence, we also accept the personal conception of the Lord, right? But Mayavadis or the impersonalists whom we are defeating, whom here who worship only the impersonal aspect of the Lord, they do not accept the personal conception, they enter into the darker regions. So we have to be very, very clear. Like here, Prabhupada is giving the two examples he is given. So in the sun planet, there is a demigod, the sun god, right? But his energy is pervading everywhere. So by his energy, we perceive him, right? So we understand there is the energy, and then we understand there is the sun god. Similarly, Prabhupada gives the example of water, right? There is seawater, but the water is mixed with the salt. Now, in the Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter, right, Krishna says, I am the taste of water, isn't it? This is from the 10th chapter. Right. So what does the impersonalist do? He just perceives the Lord in his taste. But as a devotee, what do? We appreciate that impersonal aspect of the Lord, as well as we accept Krishna's kindness. So it's very important that we do not deny the impersonal existence of the Lord. Krishna has both aspects. Like another example, if someone is speaking in the radio, you are so many miles away, and then you tune into a channel and you're hearing the messages or songs, then what happens? You're hearing the sound. So you're acknowledging the sound. Along with that, you understand that there is a person who is speaking, right? We just don't take the sound itself, but we acknowledge there is the existence of the person. So here, who is entering into the darker regions? The people who worship only the impersonal aspect and deny the form of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita introduction, Prabhupada writes in the introduction somewhere that our body is Nirananda. That means it's full of miseries. We have so many problems. We have headache, we have fever, we have pain here, pain there, right? We're always experiencing miseries with mind and body. So what happens, these impersonalists, they perceive the Lord also in the similar way. They also think that, when Krishna descends in human-like form, they think that he also has this kind of body. That's why they deny the form of the Lord. Is everyone on with me? Everyone is able to understand? But they don't understand Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha. He is full of eternity, bliss, knowledge, and with a transcendental form. Now 14, what is 14 talking about? 14 is talking about knowing Sambhuti and Asambhuti. Both are needed. Why both are needed? If you remember a few classes ago, we were doing prayers, right? We collected prayers from different devotees. Now, all of you have read those prayers, and where the prayers were only about discussing Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan? No. They were also appreciating how Lord is existing, how he is the creator, maintainer, and sustainer in this material world. How he is taking charge of the material world, isn't it? And in that context, I showed one slide from 2754, I believe. I'll show it again. Just a second. Okay, 1 second, sorry. Sorry, just 1 second, bear with me. Okay, just let me open the database. So this is 27. This is scheduled incarnations with specific scheduled times, right? Okay, last. Yeah. 53. Yeah, here, you see, in this particular verse, 2753. Sukadeva Goswami is telling the Lord's activities in association with his different energies should be described, appreciated, and heard in accordance with the teachings of the Supreme Lord. If this is done regularly with devotion and respect, one is sure to get out of the illusionary energy of the Lord. So why this subject is important, we'll see in the purport. The science of learning a subject matter seriously is different from the sentiments of the fanatics. Fanatics of fools may consider Lord's activities in relation with the external energy to be useless for them, and they may falsely claim to be higher participants in the internal energy of the Lord. But factually, the Lord's activity in relation with the external energy and internal energy are equally good. On the other hand, those who are not completely free from the clutches of the Lord's external energy should devotedly hear regularly about the activities of the Lord in relation with the external energy. You see? Why is it important that we hear about a Lord existence in the external energy? To appreciate, to appreciate how Krishna is actually present with us. How this material energy is moving along with him and how he is taking care, how he is creating, maintaining, and in part of the annihilation. So mantra 14 is talking about both the results about knowing Krishna and his material creation. Now we discussed some of the advantages of knowing this. Who remembers? Can anyone share? Why do we need to know both Sambhuti and Asambhuti? What does it foster in us? Shubham Prabhu?
Mataji, we must know that if someone is like in preaching point of view, if I say, if
Right.
someone is preaching preaching us like a Mayavad philosophy, so we must know, okay, this also this impersonal part of the Lord also exists, but the real part is the personal form of the Lord, so that we can preach easily.
I would do a small humble correction. Don't say real part, maybe it's a higher aspect, right? Because when we know the absolute, the three stages, that is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, right? So it's the highest realization of the Supreme Lord is the Bhagavan aspect. Right, very nice point. Thank you. And you remember the last verse of the Bhagavad Gita, 14 chapter, 1427. What is 1427 talking about? Krishna establishes a very important point. You can look into the Bhagavad Gita. Anyone? 1427. Yes, Shubham Prabhu.
Mataji, in the translation, it is saying, I am the basis of the impersonal Brahma.
Right. So Krishna himself is saying, Krishna is not denying. Krishna himself is establishing the fact that he is the source of the impersonal Brahman. Right? Then, second, it also fosters detachment in us from the material world. Right? Because we understand that everything is temporary here. And there is the 6 changes that are happening to the body and 4 material miseries, and we are always transmigrating in different bodies. Now, yesterday we saw the videos how there is a massive consumerism that's happening on us. So this is just in one body. Now imagine you take another body and you will have the same consumerism. You take a third body, you have the same kind of consumerism. So there is no end. And why are they doing so much consumerism? To ultimately to be happy, right? Whether people are shopping, whether people are going to the parties, whether people are, getting into relationships, everything is about experiencing that happiness. But that happiness can be revived only when we connect to Krishna. It's just like, what are the root of the tree, not the leaves, right? So today we are opening prayers of the living entity to the Lord. So far we have discussed many philosophical aspects, but today we are going to discuss about how a devotee is fervently praying to the Lord. He is putting an appeal before the Lord. So 15, 16, 17, and 18, the last 4 verses are basically running in the same category. So what we are going to do is this. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya. Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale. Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we will read verses 15, 16, and 17 and 18 also. First we will read the verse and the translations, and then we'll come and discuss a little bit. Then today what I want you to do is, we will try to compose a prayer, okay, to the Lord. But before we compose the prayer, we will see what are the key ingredients that are needed to compose a prayer, what should be the mood of a prayer, right? And along with that, we will divide the prayers, like these 4 prayers, among all of you. So you can read and compose a personal prayer. Is that okay? So 15. Hiranyamayena patrena satyasya pitam mukham tatvam pusan apruvan satya dharmaya drishtate. O my Lord, sustainer of all lives, your real face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Kindly remove that covering and exhibit yourself to your pure devotee. 16. Pusan ekrashriyam surya prajapatya vayu rasmin samoha tejo yate rupam kalyanatamam tate pasyami Yo asva asu purusha so aham asmi. O my Lord, O perennial philosopher, maintainer of the universe, O regulating principle, destination of pure devotees, well-wisher of the progenitors of mankind, please remove the effulgence of your transcendental rays so that I can see your form of bliss. You're the eternal Supreme Personality of Godhead, light onto the sun as am I. 17. Vayuranilam amritam atidam bhasmatam sariram Om krato smaram kritam smara krato smara kritam smara. Let this temporary body be burned to ashes, and let the air of life be merged with totality of air. Now, O my Lord, please remember all my sacrifices, and because you are the ultimate beneficiary, please remember all that I have done for you. The last verse of Isopanisad. Agnenaya sutapa rayi asman Vishwani deva vayuni vidvan Yuvido asamaj juhurnam eno Vushyatam te nama yukti vimedha. O my Lord, as powerful as fire, O omnipotent one, now I offer you all obeisances falling on the ground at your feet. O my Lord, please lead me on the right path to reach you. And since you know all that I have done in the past, please free me from the reactions of my past sins so that there will be no hindrance to my progress. So we'll go back to 15. Now, what are your observations in these 4 verses? Anyone? Please. Jyoti Mataji, thank you.
We are glorifying the Lord in all the prayers.
Very nice. There is glorification of the Lord. What else?
Describing him, like what are his qualities and how is his appearance and all.
Right. There is glorification of the Lord. There's personally identifying qualities in the Lord. Yes, very nice. Shubham Prabhu.
Mataji, we are asking the mercy of the Lord so that we can see him.
Right. We are asking him to reveal his personal form. So it establishes that how the Lord is a person, right? The supreme person. What else? There is
Hare Krishna
glorification.
Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Tulsi. Oh, Krishna Priya Mataji. Yes.
The devotee is telling what he has done, how much he has done for the Lord,
Right.
and in which mode he has done. So the Lord may do something to relieve him from this material world.
Okay, so there is a request, and and he's requesting the Lord to acknowledge his
Yes, to
services,
acknowledge.
right?
Yes.
His services, and also he's asking for a boon, right, to relieve him from this temporary material body. Very nice. Tulsi Mataji.
Hare Krishna. In this, as per my understanding, that the devotee is talking about his universal form. Okay. And second thing, he's telling us about his energy. It's like his energy, how he's the maintainer of this world or controller.
Very nice. So here there's talking about his energies, how it's pervading in the universe. Not necessarily he's talking about the universal form, but he's talking how the Lord is pervading in the entire material existence, right? But there is a special request to remove the effulgence. Vaibhavi Mataji. Thank you, Tulsi Mataji.
Maybe I would also like to discuss the same verse that a devotee is requesting Lord to remove the covering. As in Bhagavad Gita, it is also mentioned that it is Krishna who gives us the intelligence through which we can understand him.
So we can relate to that verse with this one, that it is God, it is Krishna only who removes that covering. Nobody else can. By which we can see the real face of Krishna, who Krishna is.
Right, very nice. So only by the mercy of Krishna, he will be revealed. So we cannot demand. Our qualification is not a prerequisite for him to reveal to us, right? It is his mercy which will reveal his form. Very nice point. Thank you. Karunamai Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji Pranam. Mataji, in the first verse, that is mantra 15, the Swambhavu Manu, he is praying Krishna to come beyond his effulgence, है ना, and to come face to face. In the 16th verse, he is describing his personalities, his qualities, and everything.
Right,
And in the next mantra, he is requesting. He's like asking benedictions and boon and requesting Krishna
right.
to burn out to um, please to remember his sacrifices and to give him some benediction. And in the last mantra, he's paying his obeisances to the Lord.
Very nice. Yeah, his paying obeisances. So we see how there is this personalism exhibited. We are asking the Lord, we are requesting the Lord to remove his effulgence so that the jiva can take darshan of the form. And then he's praising the qualities, how he's all pervading, all existing. And then he's putting his request, you know, putting his request so that he will be benedicted, that he will leave this material body. And in the last, he was offering obeisances. So in 15, you will see, Prabhupada is also quoting the verse 14:27, Brahmano hi pratishtanam. So he says that I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman. And what is the nature of the impersonal Brahman? First of all, we need to understand. The nature of the impersonal Brahman is immortal, imperishable, eternal, and is a constitute of ultimate happiness. But this is only one aspect of the absolute truth. What is absolute truth? Absolute truth has three aspects. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaneti. So Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. These are the three aspects. So in the beginning, someone can only perceive with the Brahman. Then slowly, someone on the yoga ladder, they may scale and then come to the realization of the Paramatma. And finally, when they become the devotee, they have this Bhagavan realization. So here Prabhupada also gives a very beautiful example. Where is that? In Prabhupada. From the Mukunda Upanishad, just maybe down. Just 1 second. All right, here. In the spiritual realm, beyond the material covering, is the unlimited Brahman effulgence, which is free from the material contamination. That effulgent white light is understood by the transcendentalists to be the light of the lights. In that realm, there is no need of sunshine, moonshine, fire, or electricity for illumination. Indeed, whatever illumination appears in the material world is only a reflection of that supreme illumination. That Brahman is in the front and in the back, in the north and the south, east and west, and also overhead and below. In other words, the supreme Brahman effulgence spread towards the both material and spiritual sky. So what do we understand when the devotee is praying that, you please remove the effulgence? Like, it is from Krishna's body, the effulgence is coming. And this is the source of both material and spiritual worlds, right? There's no need of sun or moon or fire or electricity for illumination. So here Prabhupada is telling that, Brahman is spread everywhere, right? And perfect knowledge means knowing how Krishna is the root of that Brahman effulgence. So the material world is actually a reflection of that spiritual illumination. Okay. So that's why it is spread both in the material and spiritual. Now, in the upper paragraphs of the purport, Prabhupada explains about the personality of Krishna. How Krishna is always filled with transcendental bliss, Anandamayo Bhyasat. He is always happy. When he was present in Vrindavan, he was engaged in doing so many childhood pastimes, killing Aga, Baka, Putana, Pralamba. And then there were pleasure excursions also. Then he was enjoying with his mother, brother, friends. And he was playing the role of naughty but a thief. So why is Krishna doing all these things? Because he's giving pleasure to his pure devotees. Not only that, he also exhibits these pastimes to attract those drive speculators towards him. Right? The people who are on the yoga ladder run, who are just stuck up on the Hatha Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, and they're meditating on this Brahman, to give them a taste, Krishna actually performs many, many pastimes. Now, can you quote an example? Who is attracted by Krishna's pastimes in the Srimad Bhagavatam? Although he was an impersonalist. Shubham Prabhu, please.
Mataji, is it like Shukdev Goswami when he was like running away and the disciples of Vyadev says, "Oh, aho kiyam sthana kalagotam," like the
Right.
pastime where Krishna like even delivered Putana. So is it that?
Yes, yes. Yes, thank you, Shubham Prabhu. Jyoti Mataji,
Mataji, also the Kumaras.
the 4 Kumaras, yes. But yeah, that's also very nice example. And you remember from the Bhagavatam, there is a verse, Atma Ramasya Munaya. Even the self-realized persons, they also, when they come in touch with bhakti, they actually get more satisfaction. I mean, Atmaram means what? Who is already self-satisfied, isn't it? But when they come and engage in bhakti, they also become very much enlightened. I'll just 1 second. I will read that shloka for you. I should have searched it before. Sorry. First canto. Yeah. This is 1.7.10. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.10. Atmaramasya munayo nirgante api urprame kurvanti ahitukam bhaktim itham bhuta guno harihi. So the Goswami said, all different varieties of Atmarams, those who take pleasure in the Atma or spirit self, especially those who are established on the path of self-realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that Lord possesses transcendental qualities, therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls. So this is the perfection, understanding how Krishna is the personal. That is the perfection of or epitome of the yoga system. Understanding Krishna as the absolute truth. Because he possesses these transcendental qualities, everyone is attracted. Then, furthermore, Prabhupada discusses that first he speaks about how the existence of Brahman. Then he talks about the Paramatma, how Paramatma is existent how he's pervading and taking care of the creation, maintenance, and destruction of this universal form, like the material universe. How does the Lord do? Can anyone think what are the forms that the Lord take to create, maintain, and destruct? Yes, Krishna Priya Mataji.
Mataji, is it Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh?
Yeah, I was thinking. No, but especially for the Paramatma, how the Lord exists as Paramatma at 3 levels. Sorry, I should have rephrased my question. Yes, Vaibhavi Mataji?
Madhuri, is it Kshirodakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and Karanadakshay Vishnu?
Right. So who is Kshirodakshay Vishnu?
One who recites. We all come from Kshirodakshay Vishnu, right? No, sorry, Garbhodakshay Vishnu.
But okay.
I'm getting confused.
Okay, no problem. Can we give chance to next devotees? Yeah, okay. Shubham Prabhu?
Mataji, Shirodaksha Vishnu is Garbhodaksha Vishnu and Paramatma, Karnadaksha Vishnu.
Yeah.
So the Shirodaksha Vishnu who is laying on the Shir Sagar, and from the navel of Shirodaksha Vishnu, Brahmaji is
No,
coming.
no.
No, that's the Garbhodaksha Vishnu. The bubbles, like, yeah, the different all material worlds are existing from his breath when he's taking and exhaling and inhaling.
Who is this?
Shirodaksha Vishnu.
No. No. Karunamaya Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna extends himself into Karanodakshayi Vishnu, who is lying in Karan Sagar.
Yes.
And for Paramatma, he extends in the Karanodakshayi Vishnu extends himself into Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, from whom all the incarnations of Lord Vishnu and Paramatma feature came. And then Kshirodakshayi Vishnu is the impersonal form. Through this extension, Krishna is in every atom and in
Yeah.
every living entity.
So there are 3, you know how there are 3 Purusha avatars, how the Lord in Paramatma, he exists in 3 forms. Kshirodaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Karnodaksha Vishnu. So Karnodaksha Vishnu means he's lying on the causal ocean. When he's breathing, all the universes are coming out. Then Lord again enters into each and every universe. That is Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And from Garbhodaksha Vishnu, as how Karnamai Mataji said, all the incarnations, scheduled incarnations, they come. But in again, from every living entity, the Paramatma is Kshirodaksha Vishnu. Karna, Garbhodaksha, and Kshiro. But I reversed it, so that's why there was a confusion. Yeah, so how the Lord is pervading in every step of this creation. So Brahman is the support, right? It's the support. And then how the Lord existing as the Paramatma. Then in the Bhagavan, how is the Lord, he is coming and displaying different pastimes to give pleasure to his devotees and also to attract people towards him, right? So when someone has the Brahman realization, they have just the understanding about his omniscience, like how he's present everywhere. But they don't have an understanding of how the Lord is omnipotent, how his potencies work, they have no understanding. Now, further moving into Paramatma realization, they understand material potencies, how the Lord is existing in the material world and how everything is functioning. But they don't understand the next feature, the spiritual potencies, like how the Lord personally is a person and how he's complete. In the Bhagavan realization, they understand Krishna because Krishna is full. Ishvara Krishna Parama Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So they understand how the Lord is cause of all causes. Right? And here, what is the Jiva praying? Now please remove that Hiranmayena Patra, the dazzling effulgence, so that I can take darshan of you. So there is Jnanis, Yogis, and Bhaktas. So Jnanis are basically into Brahman realization. Yogis, they step ahead and they go up to Paramatma realization. But only Bhaktas can realize Krishna, Bhagavan realization. So if you see the yoga ladder, the bottom is the karmis, right? Their fruity mentality. Now the next level is jnanis, because they are not really attached to this material work and the fruits of the material work, but they are philosophers. They try to speculate, they try to understand through the knowledge. They use jnana as the source. So they come to Brahman realization. And the next is mystics, the yogis. They try to focus on the super soul within their heart and have the Paramatma realization. Then next is bhaktas. And can you remember from Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter? What does Krishna says? Who is the best of the yogis? Shubham Prabhu?
Mataji, the last verse of 6th chapter. Yogi nam api sarvesham matkati nandaratmana shadavan bhajate yo mam sama yukto tamo mata.
So what is the translation?
Like one who is serving me with full devotion, he is the topmost yogi. And is
Yes,
the highest of all.
right. So Krishna himself is declaring
6.47, Mataji. 6.47.
Right, 6.47. What does Krishna say there? What does he explain? That bhajate. Bhajate means it is very significant word that worship. You are the best yogi when you engage in the service of the Supreme Lord. Right? He is called the best of the yogis. So here in the 15th, we learned how the Jiva is praying for removal of the effulgence so that he can take personal darshan of the Lord. Now 16, what is happening in 16? The Jiva is praying for more mercy, right? Along with that, there is a glorification of the Lord. What are some of the qualities that we understand? Primeval philosopher, maintainer of universe, regulating principle, destination of devotees, well-wisher of the progenitors of mankind, right? So what are these attributes again indicate? That there is a person, right? He's a person. And then we are putting forward a request saying that please remove your effulgence so I can see your blissful, auspicious, transcendental form. Then he's comparing it to sun. Now Prabhupada gives the explanation here in the purport. The sun and its rays are one and the same qualitatively. Similarly, Lord and the living entities are one and the same in quality. The sun is one, but the molecules of sun rays are innumerable. The sun rays constitute part of the sun, and the sun and its rays conjointly constitute the complete sun. Within the sun itself reside the sun god, and similarly within the supreme spiritual planet, Goloka Vrindavan, from which Brahma Jyoti effulgence is emanating, the Lord enjoys his eternal pastimes. So here, so what do we understand? There is the sun, and the sun rays, they're qualitatively the same. So the Lord and the Jiva are also qualitatively the same. However, the molecules of the sun, quantitatively, they're different. But not only the sun has the sun rays, but there is a sun god existing on the planets. So again, Prabhupada is using the same example for us to understand how Krishna is present in the Goloka Vrindavan, but his effulgence is spread even to the material worlds. Right? He is present in the Goloka Vrindavan, but his effulgence is spread and he is actually running the universe. Now again, here Prabhupada gives the understanding what is Bhagavan. You see here quoting Jiva Goswami from Bhakti Sandarbha. In his Bhakti Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami states, the complete conception of absolute truth is realized in personality of Godhead because he is almighty and possesses full transcendental potencies. The full potency of the absolute truth is not realized in Brahma Jyotir. Therefore, Brahman realization is only partial realization of the personality of Godhead. O learned sages, the first syllables of the word Bhagavan, Bha, has two meanings. The first is one who fully maintains. Second is guardian. So out of the Bhagavan word, what does Bha stand for? One who fully maintains. And second, it means he is a guardian. Now, Ga in the Bhagavan word, what does it mean? He's guide, leader, or creator. Now, the last is one, indicates that every living being lives in him and he also lives in every being. How does he live with everyone?
As Paramatma.
As Paramatma. And Karunamaya Mataji, yes?
As personal at the same time, maximum feature. And also the impersonal.
Yeah, you remember Maya Tatash, what was that verse from the Bhagavad Gita? Krishna says, everything is in me, but I'm not in everything, right? So everything, every living entity is present with Krishna. And Krishna is also present, he lives with us as the Paramatma, he is present in his impersonal potencies, and he's also present as Bhagavan. So what is the full understanding of Bhagavan? Bha means what? Anyone?
The maintainer,
Sorry?
the maintainer who fully maintains.
Yeah, one who fully maintains. Ga means
Leader,
Guardian.
creator.
leader,
Right.
creator. And Van means Tulsi Mataji?
That every being lives in him, and he's
Yeah.
in every.
Yes. Vaibhavi Mataji?
One who possesses everything.
Right. So Bhagavan, that's why here Prabhupada writes, the sound Bhagavan represents infinite knowledge, potency, energy, opulence, strength, and influence. And without any material, without a tinge of material inability. That means there is no material contamination anywhere existing. That's why he's absolute. Now, how is he a guide? Let's discuss some of his qualities. How is he a guide? How does he guide us? Shubham Prabhu?
Mataji, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that I'm your best well-wisher. So a well-wisher guides
Towards,
in that way towards reaching me.
okay, towards reaching Krishna. Yes. Then how is he leader? Krishna Priya Mataji?
Mataji, there are two birds. One is observing and other is the karta, and the Paramatma is a guiding. He's just
Hmm.
observing. So in that way, he's guiding.
Okay, he's guiding.
And
always.
if one is on the path of self-realization, then it becomes a Chatya Guru, and then he starts guiding.
Very nice. So he's guiding us. Right. So how is Krishna a leader? Jyoti Mataji?
Mataji, like as a super soul, he's there in everyone's heart. So, as a super soul, he's guiding us. One point, and second is like through a bona fide guru, spiritual master, and through the parampara, and also like as we develop in Krishna consciousness, his guidance, like the more we can understand his guidance.
Yeah, very nice. You see, the next paragraph, Prabhupada writes, he explains further. The Lord fully maintains his unalloyed devotees, right? And then he guides them progressively on the path of devotional service. As a leader of his devotees, he ultimately awards the desired results of devotional service by giving himself to them. Now, the devotees of the Lord see the Lord eye to eye by his causeless mercy. Thus, the Lord helps his devotee to reach the supreme most spiritual planet, Goloka Vrindavan. And as a creator, being the creator, he can bestow all necessary qualifications upon his devotees so that they can ultimately reach him. The Lord is cause of all causes. In other words, since there is nothing that caused him, he is the original cause. Consequently, his own self is manifesting his own internal potency. The external potency is not exactly manifested by him, for he expands himself as Purushas, and in these forms that he maintains the features of material manifestation. By such expansions, he creates, maintains, and halates the cosmic manifestation. So this is a further explanation of the word term Bhagavan. How he's guiding us, how he's the leader, how he's the guardian, how he's the maintainer, and how he is present with us and with every living entity, either through his Purushavasaras or he himself. Everyone clear with that? Now, who can know Krishna? Only devotees, right? So here, how do we know Krishna is the source of the Brahman and Paramatma? Sorry. No, if someone, sorry, I should rephrase it, sorry. If someone knows Brahman and Paramatma are the features of the Krishna, what will be their next step, automatic step? You know, how you understand that the Lord is pervading, how he's the creator, how he's supporting this whole universe. What is the first, expression that comes to your mind? Shubham Prabhu?
Mataji, we would like to see that person
Yeah.
who is
Yeah.
behind it actually. Who is the
But
person actually?
how do you see the person? What
By the
process?
mercy of that person actually. By bhakti actually.
Bhakti, right? You know, like it's what is bhakti? It's an expression of our gratitude, right? You're getting the point? When someone understands how the Lord is the origin of both Brahman and Paramatma, and he understands that how he is taking care of us, and he's the source of us, we automatically go and engage in bhakti. Right? How is that? Yeah, I don't want to distract. Okay. Then, what is the medium of understanding this bhakti? Jyoti Mataji?
Through parampara, following the guidelines of by the parampara.
Yeah, very nice. Vaibhavi Mataji?
By approaching somebody who has already experienced it.
Right. And then what do these devotees do? What are they engaged in?
Devotional service?
I know, but still more. What is a famous verse in Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter? When devotees come together, what do they do? Is it 9th chapter or 10th chapter? What do devotees do when they come together? By Babi Mataji?
Sorry, Mataji, my mistake. I don't remember the miss.
It's okay, but you can try. Yes, Shubham Prabhu?
Mataji,
They-
is it they glorify the names and the pastimes and the qualities of the Lord?
Yes, Satatam Kittayanto Mam. Right? So when the pure devotees they come, what do? They glorify. They're discussing, every aspect of the Lord, along with the Lord's transcendental activities. Right? And by that, there is enlightenment. We get realizations, right? What are these realizations? In ISKCON, we talk so much that we have realizations. What is realization means? There is an enlightenment. We're freed from ignorance. We have a clear understanding, and we're very fixed up, right? In the uh, in the knowledge that is being exposed to us. So there is enlightenment. So when someone understands Krishna in every feature, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, they will engage in bhakti. And when they engage in bhakti, what do? They engage in Krishna Katha. They glorify, they appreciate the activities of the Lord. And by doing so, one is enlightened and they will make spiritual advancements. Right? So we'll take 5 minutes of break and then we'll come and discuss the verse 17. Is that okay? Thank you. We'll resume at 8:15. Is everyone back? So we discussed the Jiva is praying to remove the effulgence in verse 15. And in 16, what was happening? He was glorifying the Lord, right? And he's appreciating that he wanted to see the Lord's auspicious form, and then declaring that how the Lord has the eternal form. Now, 17 and 18, the last two verses, this is a prayer that is made at the time of death. Like the jiva is ready to quit the body. And now in full consciousness, he is offering this prayer, right? So here, if you see the translation, let this temporary body be burned to ashes. What does it mean? Your gross body, right? Let it be burned to the body. Let the air of life be merged with totality of air. What does this mean? Indicating the subtle body, right? There is mind, intelligence, and false ego, and also the senses, the tanmatras, the ability to hear, touch, speak, all these. Let everything, and along with the false ego, let that also be destroyed. You know, and until and unless we give up both gross and subtle body, we won't go to the spiritual world. Because in the spiritual world, we don't need subtle body or the gross body. Because we are the spirit soul, we will have the spiritual body there. And what is the request that the jiva is putting? Please remember all my sacrifices. Why? Because you are the ultimate beneficiary. And everything that I have done, all the services I have rendered towards you. Now, in the commentaries, in the Baladev Vidyabhushan, right, Baladev Vidyabhushan, he mentions Krato means Krato is indicating to the mind. He is appealing to the mind that, you know, with your willpower, make this, you know, appeal to the Lord. That just let me remember only Krishna. 8.6 Bhagavad Gita, what does Krishna says? Yam yam vapi smaran bhava tajante ante kalevaram. So whatever the state of one being, you know, remembers when he quits the body, that is where he will attain that stage without fail. So he's appealing to the mind and as well as to the Lord, saying that please help me to remember you. And you also remember my services to the Lord, services to you. Now, does Lord need to reminded about what services we have done? Does Lord need to be reminded about the services that we have done?
No,
Yeah.
Mataji.
No. So why is this jiva putting forward? Why is this jiva putting forward? Is it wrong to put forward such a request? Will the Lord forget? There was one pastime, there was one, I don't remember the devotee's name. He was Prabhupada's disciple, and somehow he performed, he offered such a valuable service to Srila Prabhupada in the beginning days. But somehow the other, he wasn't practicing Krishna consciousness later on. At the time of death, he was on the bed. He's ready to leave the body. And he was seeing there were Srila Prabhupada. And he was telling his wife that, Srila Prabhupada came, Srila Prabhupada came. But his wife was like, who came? There is no one. But this person saw that Srila Prabhupada came. So for the pure devotees, to the pure devotees and to the Lord, we don't need to remind, but we can always submit our humble request that, it's not, we are not measuring how much service I've done, or we are not boosting up how great I am. But this is what I have engaged in, right? So please kindly remember that, so that, I don't want to be part of this material world. This is the humble mood. And also, even if you don't tell them, even if you don't tell the Lord that, please remember, He will still remember the services. So usually when Jnana Mishra Bhakti, like when people they have knowledge, but it's mixed with bhakti. Knowledge is not just knowledge, but like Gyan. The Gyanis who are also bhaktas. So they are pushing forward in one sense. But in pure bhakti, we don't need to even remind the Lord. We just need to continue. Now, can you think of some of the prayers in our parampara? We'll say, what are some of the examples of the prayers that really show that full dependence on the Lord? Can you recall anything from Srila Prabhupada's life or any other devotee's lives? Yes, Shubham Prabhu.
Mataji, I remember one Vaishnav song of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in which he's saying like Manasa Deha Gaya Jo Kichh Mora.
Mhm.
Whatever mine, it's actually yours. And Maro bhi rakho bhi jo cha tumhar. You, if you want to live, like if you want to me to kill me or want me to live, it's all on you. I'm totally dependent on you.
Mhm. Yeah, so here there's a complete surrenderance in the prayer, right? It's complete surrenderance and dependence on the Lord. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Anyone else remember anything? Krishna Priya Mataji?
Mataji, one is Ohe Vaishnava Thakur, Daya Sagar, Jive Daya Karo. Then other is Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande, Manamanas Madhupara. So that because in this it is mentioned that even the Brahma can't see the tip of the thumb of the Lord.
Yeah, very beautiful. Anything else? Thank you, Krishna Priya Mataji. Karunamai Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Master, there is one poem Srila Prabhupada wrote at the time he was in Jaladuta. I didn't remember, unable to remember this time the name of the poem, but it was like this. Srila Prabhupada is saying that you bring me here into this hellish place, and you have some business from me, and also make me a puppet in your hand and make me dance as a good poem, like he's surrendering to whatever you want me to do, I will do here.
Right. Again, where Prabhupada is expressing his complete dependence, on the Lord, and he's waiting for the Lord's mercy. Yeah, although Prabhupada is very, very determined and he stepped into America with such a determination, but still Prabhupada is completely dependent. Yes, very nice. Jyoti Mataji?
Mataji, I don't remember as such any prayer, but one mood I just wanted to mention here that when he left his home and he was staying, he didn't have his, like he was not having much money, and for clothes and food he was depending on the, and even that time so many devotees also were not there. And then he was planning to go to America, and how he used to plan every day, and how he was planning to preach, like to publish the go back to Godhead and all the everything, even though he didn't have money. So that dependence in that mood, I just, it was so amazing.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, reminding, how much Srila Prabhupada struggled through to establish this beautiful society for us. Yeah, and also if you remember from Srila Prabhupada's, when Prabhupada was in America, when he got heart attack, devotees wanted to pray and they didn't know what to pray. Then Prabhupada said that, you please pray to Krishna that my master's mission isn't finished yet. So please allow him to stay. But when again Prabhupada was sick in 1977, I think the first time, that was the first time when Prabhupada got a heart attack in America. That time everyone started praying to Lord Nrsingadev, and Nrsinga prayer started that way. But in 1977, Prabhupada was very sick. Then devotees again asked him, what can we pray? Then what was Prabhupada's mood? He said, my dear Lord Krishna, if you desire, please cure Srila Prabhupada. Right? You see, first time when Prabhupada was praying, he was saying that my master's mission isn't finished. Please let him stay. Because the society, it was very young. And there's so much needed to be done. So much guidance needed to be given. But in 1977, Prabhupada was ready to leave to the spiritual world. So he didn't demand it. If Prabhupada would have demanded, maybe Krishna would have allowed, isn't it? But Prabhupada never demanded it. But Prabhupada said, if you desire, my dear Lord Krishna, if you desire, please cure Srila Prabhupada. This was the prayer that all the devotees all around the world, they were praying. So, saying for the mood of the prayers, I wanted to show one purport from the 8th canto. Very beautiful purport. Set it up. 831. This is from the Gajendra's prayer. And here, Gajendra is praying. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued. Thereafter, the king of the elephants, Gajendra, fixed his mind in his heart with a perfect intelligence and chanted a mantra which he had learned in his previous birth as Indrajumna and which he remembered by the grace of Krishna. Now, in the purport, sorry, I didn't swap it. In the purport, you see, as explained later, Gajendra was formerly King Indrajumna, and somehow or the other in his next life, he became the king of the elephants. Now Gajendra was in danger, and although he was in a body other than that of the human being, he remembered the Shrota that he chanted in his previous life. Yatate cha tato bhuya samsiddho kuru nandana. 1 second, Karunamai Mataji. To enable one to achieve perfection, Krishna gives one a chance to remember him again. This is proved here, for although the king of the elephants, Gajendra, was put in danger, this was a chance for him to remember his previous devotional activities so that he could immediately be rescued by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You see? So he's putting an appeal to the Lord that, I am actually your devotee. So when we are saying, when in this shloka 17, when the Jiva is telling that you remember my activities of the devotional service, he's not proud or he's not feeling great that he has achieved something. But he's saying that, I am your devotee. Please consider that. You're getting the point? So Gajendra was also given intelligence and he was able to make a prayer. And furthermore, Prabhupada writes, it is imperative, therefore, all the devotees in Krishna consciousness practice chanting some mantra. What is the mantra that we chant? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Certainly, one should chant the Hare Krishna mantra, which is the Maha Mantra or great mantra. And also one should chant chanting Chintamani Prakara Sadmashu. Where is this prayer from? Karunamai Mataji?
Brahma Samhita Mataji.
Brahma Samitra. And Nashama Stota. Ito Nashima Parato Nashama Yato Yami Tato Nashima. Do we do Nashima prayers every day? Yes, we are putting forward a request to Lord Nrsimhadev. Every devotee should practice in order to chant some mantra perfectly so that even though he may be imperfect in spiritual consciousness, in this life, in his next life, he will not forget Krishna consciousness, even if he becomes an animal. Of course, a devotee should try to perfect his Krishna consciousness in this life. By simply understanding Krishna and his instructions, after giving up this body, one can return home back to Godhead. See, this is the potency of prayer. Now, Karnamai Mataji, you had your hand raised.
Oh, no, Mataji, sorry. It was an issue.
Okay. So, and also I want to show another, show you this one. This is from Nectar of Devotion, chapter 9. This is one of the, what is the name of the chapter? Further consideration of devotional principles. Chapter 9. And one of the principle is, okay, share that. Everyone can see my screen? Yeah, chapter 9, NOD, Nectar of Devotion, reciting notable prayers. According to great learned scholars, the whole Bhagavad Gita contains many authorized prayers. Especially in the 11th chapter where Arjuna prays to the universal form of the Lord. Similarly, in Gautamiya Tantra, all the verses are called prayers. Again, in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are hundreds of prayers to the Lord. So a devotee should select some of these prayers for his recitation. In the Skanda Purana, the glories of these prayers are stated as follows. Devotees whose tongues are decorated always with prayers to Lord Krishna are always given respect even by great saintly persons and sages, and such devotees are actually worshipable by the demigods. Those who are less intelligent and want to worship different demigods for some material gain rather than worship Krishna. But here it is stated that the devotee who is always engaged in offering prayers to the Lord is worshipable even by the demigods themselves. So usually for material benefits, we seek demigods. But if you recite prayers, even the demigods worship you. So you are like a position higher than the demigods. The pure devotees have nothing to ask from a demigod. Rather, the demigods are anxious to offer prayers to the pure devotees. In the Nrsimha Purana, it is stated, any person who comes before the deity of Lord Krishna and begins to chant different prayers is immediately relieved from all reactions of sinful activities and becomes eligible without any doubt to enter into the Vaikuntha Loka. So we are here seeing importance of prayers and the glories of making prayers. What is this, out of the 9 processes, which anga does it fall into? Krishna Priya Mataji?
Is it Kirtan?
No. Shubham Prabhu?
Vandanam.
Vandanam. And who is in perfection of Vandanam? Who is given as an example for the perfection of his prayers? Okay, the hint. Okay, so Jyoti Mataji, please.
I don't know exactly, but Prahlad Maharaj.
No, Prahlad Maharaj is for Smaranam, remembrance. Vaibhavi Mataji?
Mataji, Dhruv Maharaj.
No. Okay, I'll give you the hint. He goes to Vrindavan to bring Krishna and Balaram to Mathura. Shubham Prabhu?
Krur.
Akrura. Akrura was like he's a perfection. He's quoted for offering prayers. So who is known for Shravanam? Shubham Prabhu?
Parikshit Maharaj.
Parikshit Maharaj. Who is known for Kirtanam? Karunamai Mataji, your hand was raised.
Mataji Shukdev Goswami.
Shukadeva Goswami. For Smaranam? Yes, Shubham Prabhu?
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj. And then Padasevanam? Karunamai Mataji?
Goddess Lakshmi.
Goddess Lakshmi, right? Archanam? Shubham Prabhu?
Is it Mataji Prithu Maharaj?
Ritu Maharaj, right. Vandanam is Akrura. Dasyam?
Hanumanji.
Hanumanji, very nice. Sakyam? Karnamai Mataji?
Arjuna.
Who?
Arjun.
Arjun, right. And Atmanivedanam?
Bali Maharaj.
Bali Maharaj. And all the 9 processes perfected by? Perfected by? He's also a king.
Ambrish Maharaj.
Ambarish Maharaj. Yeah, very nice. Will show one more sloka. This is from the 3rd canto, 8th chapter, verse 6. Yeah. Prabhupada in the purport writes, the Lord sometimes addressed as Uttama Shloka, which means one who is worshipped by selected words by devotees. A profusion of such selected words comes from a devotee who is fully absorbed in affection and love for devotional service of the Lord. There are many instances in which even a small boy who is a great devotee of the Lord could offer excellent prayers in the choicest words of glorification of the pastimes of the Lord. In other words, without the development of fine affection and love, one cannot offer prayers to the Lord very suitably. So any prayer that we see, that is actually, if we are able to compose a prayer, that is again the mercy of the Lord. You know, what are prayers? What is prayer means? It's an addressing Lord, isn't it? We're addressing the Lord, and it can be. Now, in prayers, there are 2 kinds of prayers. One is reciting scriptural stotras. And the second is expressing our own mind and words. Right? And usually, prayers usually have 4 components. There is praise for the Lord. There is thanksgiving. There are prayers with the request by the devotees and prayers asking for the forgiveness of the devotees. So I'll just type it in the message. Prayers, 4 components. praise and giving, requests by the devotees, and then asking for forgiveness. So what I want you to do tonight until tomorrow's class, we have 24 hours or less than that. So select some prayers, okay? And also compose a prayer, you know? Select some prayers from Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam or Isopanisad or anywhere from our Shastras, from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Select one of your favorite prayers, okay? And also compose a prayer in your own words to the Lord. You know, it can include praise, thanksgiving, request, or asking for forgiveness. Okay, and tomorrow in the class, we will share our prayers. Okay, because it helps us to, go deeper, reflect. We can count on our blessings. Right, many things can count. Is that clear? So tomorrow will be the last class. We will be finishing verses 17 and 18. And then we will also do this assignment. And also we'll do a small quiz. Okay. And everyone will be a participant. Tomorrow is no raising hands. I will call out the names. Now we will see how much everyone remembers from verse 1 to the 18. A quick recap. Okay. Are there any questions or comments or any takeaway points that you want to share?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have a question for these prayers. Like we are not well versed in Sanskrit, so it has to be in Hindi or English.
You can write in English. It's an expression of your own words, and you're expressing your mind and heart.
Right.
So yeah, I'm also not very good in Sanskrit. So if you recite in Sanskrit, you have to explain me also. I don't even get it. So please in English. So if you don't have any questions or comments, so we'll close for the day. Thank you so much. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.